Good evening. Welcome to the first episode of the Razor Crest Journals. My name is Josh Smith. This show is going to be discussing The Mandalorian, the new series from Disney and Lucasfilm. The show, if you haven't watched this yet, follows a character. They haven't given his name on screen yet, but if you look around on the internet, Pedro Pascal has revealed the name of The Mandalorian. Our show will discuss news and rumors regarding anything with the show, occasionally with a smidgen of Star Wars news regarding maybe the Clone Wars animated series that's coming up, Kenobi, as well as the other show, Cassin. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the news for tonight. The first article I have comes from the Nerdist. Was a famous Star Wars character in the Mandalorian premiere. I'll have the link at the bottom of this. Once you watch it, you can go and take a look for yourself. Basically, the Nerdist reports that Vanity Fair was the first to spot that at the 1831 mark in the episode, during which the Mandalorian character walks underground through a small Mandalorian community, we see another figure dressed in the same iconic armor of his home planet. Standing in the darkness on the right side of the screen is a person wearing Boba Fett's armor. Now, I've looked at this, and to me, I could see where people believe it might be Boba, but right now I'm not necessarily buying it. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe Boba will pop up in the series because we've seen other things in the show so far. We're seeing off-world Jawas. We've seen R5-D4 in the background. We saw a Guardian type looking character. Hopefully we'll see more of that. The next article that I'm jumping onto is an article from Fathom Tracks. They posted Pedro Pascal on The Mandalorian. No one will ever be the same. Again, I'll have this link below. Pedro Pascal was doing an interview with Gina Carrero to promote The Mandalorian and spoke to ABC7 about the series. It's really, really great storytelling within a world we already know, Pedro Pascal told ABC7, and challenging the world with a bunch of originality and unexpected personality and some edge. All the shady characters from the bar in the first movie we saw come more to the forefront. It's doing too much, frankly, if you want my real opinion. Personally, I don't think that. It's not only challenging Star Wars, it's challenging what can be done on TV, Pascal said. It's setting the bar too high. It's too good, and no one will ever be the same. I can't argue with him. I know he's using sarcasm, and it's hilarious to me. But for my money, with what they have put out so far, just these 2 episodes, and that ending of the first episode, if you haven't seen it, which ties in directly to the second, wow. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. I know they've been talking about what has influenced them with the writing of the show, such as the Man with No Name trilogy that Clint Eastwood was in. If you've never seen that, I highly recommend that. As well as Lone Wolf and Cub, another samurai series, much like how Lucas had tied in Hidden Fortress and some other Japanese movies. Filoni and Favreau have really tied in together. They've taken the elements of things that they really enjoy and said, what can we do with this? And figured out a really great story so far, in my opinion, that has got a lot of plot lines, which I think is for the better, to entice us. To me, a great television show leaves you wanting more at the end. I say this regularly, and I think they're pulling that off. You can read this article if you're interested. Again, I'll have the link below. Next up, this article is taken from The Guardian. Mandalorian creator Favreau teases more Star Wars surprises. Article talks about the Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau and cast members debuting the Star Wars series on Wednesday at a red carpet event for fans and promised more surprises following the reveal of an unexpected new character in the first episode. Again, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it yet, Next week, I'll really crack this open and start talking more, as we'll have had 3 episodes. Some of my friends in Chicago have already gotten to see all 3 of them, as there was an event, first come, first serve, where they got to go to a theater and see all 3 of the first episodes of The Mandalorian, which I'm hearing we're in for a treat. Back to the article, though, the quote I'm pulling up, there are a lot of surprises in the show. Part of what is fun about doing the 8 episodes is that each one could have been a surprise and a twist. Favreau said in an interview at the premiere in Hollywood. I think just that ending from the first one, if that doesn't tell you, we've got lots more coming down the pipe. I mean, it's amazing to see the bounty hunter IG-11. That's not IG-88, in case you don't know it. IG-11 and IG-88 share a sort of history with the Legend series. That's what they call the books that came out prior to the new trilogy that's been coming out. The Legend series touched on IG-88 having several copies of him, in which case I would say IG-11, the android in The Mandalorian, is one of those types of bounty droids, or assassin droids as they originally were called. I don't think that's the last we've seen of that character. I think we'll see more of him as the show progresses. I've seen pictures of him with some of the other characters, so my gut tells me we'll see more. Anyways, the article goes on and talks about the audience that was at the premiere of the show, and they talk more about the surprise. There are some spoilers in here if you've not yet gotten to see the show. Again, I'm going to do my best to not spoil too much until next week, where I'll start cracking into more of some of the things. Next article. Moving along, I'm at a website called /film.com. The Mandalorian is cinema, according to agent of chaos Werner Herzog. If you know who Werner Herzog is, he's a film director. He played a character in The Mandalorian's first episode, an Imperial agent who makes a deal with our main character, the Mandalorian. The article says after a full month of folks obsessing over Martin Scorsese declaring that Marvel movies aren't cinema, filmmaker and agents of I'm saying it wrong again. Agents of chaos, Werner Herzog has decided to shift the cinema conversation elsewhere. Herzog has a part of the new Disney Plus Star Wars TV series, The Mandalorian. And even though everyone agrees The Mandalorian is part of the TV landscape, Herzog just went ahead and referred to it as cinema. We all love Werner Herzog. He's a delightfully bleak man who makes powerful, uncompromising movies that can often be quite the soul-crushing. And he also happens to love watching wrestling. Anyways, he's everything you want him to be and more. When Herzog isn't directing documentaries and features that make you ponder I can't even say the word. Anyways, I could go on, and this is just jumped up a thing. It's an interesting article regarding one of the characters that's on the show. I'd highly recommend reading this. Link below. Next up, The Mandalorian's Jon Favreau is already sharing Season 2 set pics. In case you don't know, they're already shooting episodes of The Mandalorian for next season. CinemaBlend is reporting that The Mandalorian launched with Disney on November 12th, which we already know. The show's developing Season 2 well before Season 1 began airing, and showrunner Jon Favreau revealed that filming has already begun as of the end of October. Now Favreau has shared a set photo from the Season 2 filming. Take a look. And basically, if you want to know what it is, what I'm looking at right now, it's just a picture of the Mandalorian's bucket on set. If you're interested in looking at that, you can go to the link. I'll have it listed. Anyways, last piece I'm going to report tonight. This was reported back in April, but I'm going to report it again. I think it's valuable. 501st Legion members will appear in The Mandalorian. I'm a member of the 501st. It's a great organization. I highly recommend if you're into costuming, you can go to the 501st, just look them up on Google, whatever you use for a search engine, and you can read up on what it is. Basically, it's we build costumes and we get them as close as we possibly can to Star Wars accurate costumes. From there, we work on a volunteer basis only. We donate our time and we go to charity events such as hospital visits for kids. We work with Make-A-Wish. We'll do other things as well. Generally, we're trying to do very positive things with our organization. The article reports that basically in production, there were only so many stormtrooper costumes they had, so they had to come up with a plan, and they decided, has the 501st ever been on camera? I know they've been used by Lucasfilm, so basically what they ended up doing was reaching out to members of the 501st who had no idea whatsoever they were going to be filmed for this, and next thing you know, they're asking them to point and shoot and act, which is amazing, and I'm hoping that we'll see more of this. Friends and I have discussed how we've got some costumes that you haven't ever seen get screen time on the movies, and we're hoping that maybe this is an opportunity for some of our other costumes to get that shot. Hopefully that comes down the pipe and I can report that soon. That's pretty much going to be it for me tonight. I'm going to try to keep this short. As I get better information, more interesting stuff, if I get news, rumors, anything going on, I'm going to report it. I'll be looking forward to possibly talking with people as well regularly, and we'll discuss episodes, and I'll get opinions of people, what they liked, what they didn't like. Other than that, thanks for watching. I hope you'll enjoy this. If you've got comments, put them below. Even if you've got criticism, please, as one of my favorite musicians once said, if you like something I did, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell your enemies. Have a good night, and thank you for watching. I'll speak to you soon.